Welcome to Secrets of Stand-Up Comedy. I'm Richard Francis Williams. I'm going to tell you everything I know about stand-up so you can be a better comedian. All right, so know your role. Know your role. I'm going to get into this because I was watching my own behavior at the open mic, and so it's an important topic to discuss. Before I do, I'm feeling a little bit better. My voice hasn't cleared up yet, which I like, so I can make my ASMR videos on the side. But yeah, a lot of times as comics, we go into an environment and we think, well, I've done all this stuff, so I deserve this. I'm entitled to this. Let me explain what I mean. I went into the open mic, Lark Tavern. I feel a little bit off right now. Forgive me if I'm not like fully. I went into the open mic, and I had been to that venue numerous times since 2015. I used to go there when it was a bar back in the 90s. So I know the place really well. And when I was there in 2015, the guy running it wanted to turn it over to another comic. So I recommended somebody, and he picked her. So I felt a little sense of ownership over that venue. Not ownership, but like, hey, this is my place. It's like when you work somewhere for a while and then you leave and then you go back to visit, and it's weird how you can't just go beyond the front desk or behind the counter or whatever job it is you had. It's like, wait, no, I had a lot of time here. I'm not just a stranger. So it was important for me to kind of put that in check. I'm very humble about the things that I've done in my career. So I don't go into these places. It's run by a whole different person now who I don't know. I'm not even friends with on Facebook. So when I was talking with him very briefly before the show, he said, "Oh, are you new?" And I said, "Well, no, I've been doing it for a while, and I've been here before." And he said, "Oh, when?" And he was asking me the different hosts. I said, back in at this era. He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So if my ego was attached, it could have been easy to say, well, I helped set up the transition from this person to this person. And I'm kind of like the old timer around these parts, and I've helped a lot of comics, and I've done this and that. And I have a YouTube channel where I help out comics, and I've been on these shows. Like, why would he care? Seriously. Like, it might be interesting to him, or he might see some benefit, but he's there to run an open mic and work on his set. I'm just another comic. I'm just another person. I'm just another dude that signed his name up on the list. And there's a curtain that separates where the open mic happens, that room from the bar. And usually when the open mic's going, we close that curtain. So I saw it was open at one point, and I was going to go up and close it. And I'm like, no, know your role. You're here to do 5 minutes, to record it, to pop your cherry, doing an open mic again after a while, to post it on YouTube, to break it down and use it as an example. You're not here to be a little helper. You're not in charge of anything. You're in charge of signing your name, going up when you're called, doing your best while you're on stage, and then when you get the light, wrapping it up and getting off stage. And then another incident came up where there were two different comics. The second one I knew from the old scene and the old open mics. They both came in late, and they were trying to get put on, and the host was dealing with it very diplomatically, and they were nice about it too. The comics. He's like, "Hey, we don't have enough time. It only runs from this time." I had the urge to interject and be a helper again. A lot of this is codependency, and this video may only apply to half of you maybe, because it's a personality type as well. With the guy that I knew, I wanted to interject and be the arbitration between the two, and they got it. They can handle it on their own. I can just sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. I don't need to do any of that stuff. It's none of my business. But I always want to take on all these other roles instead of just focusing on my goals, which is to do this brand new 5 minutes and post it for you guys and then go over it. What if the host didn't take kindly to any of that? What if it escalated? I mean, it wouldn't have, but what if it escalated to me getting banned from there? Like, what are you doing pulling the curtain? Who the fuck do you think you are? That stuff happens a lot. So when you go into venues that you're new to, or the ones that you've been at 100 times, check your ego, check yourself. Realize what your role is. If you're running it, you're in charge. If you're not running it, you're not in charge. And probably shouldn't have any say in anything. Unless it's something egregious and crazy that's going on. These dogs, they're driving me mad. We're going to get a Chewy's in a second, you crazy dogs. The other thing that's important that I wanted to point out is after I did the open mic, hold on, Willie, come. After I did the open mic, when I got home and I did the video and all that stuff, I posted in our local scene's Facebook comedy group. And I was authentic. I didn't just, blow smoke up anybody's ass. But I said, hey, I did this open mic. Haven't been there in a while. The place looks great. The host has it down to a science, the guy running it. And I encourage everybody else to go do it. There were probably 30 people in there that reacted to that. And there's not a lot of action on some of these posts. And so what did I do? I acknowledged somebody's hard work. Do you know how hard it is to run an open mic? If you haven't done it, it's every comic wants something from you. There's very little thanks. Even when you hook somebody up, that little, oh, thanks, bro, that lasts for a nanosecond. What did it take for me to write that post? A minute, tops? So be a class act. Compliment people when they do something good. And it let the rest of the comics in the area know, hey, you should be coming out to this mic. And there were plenty there, but, there's people that go in and out of comedy. And sometimes they need to be reminded, hey, this open mic's really good. It's professionally run. There were people there. It keeps adding to your scene. It's much easier for people to post and bitch and moan about something, to post drama, to post a complaint. How often have you posted a compliment? There was a guy, we actually worked together for a while on Best Damn Sports Show, period. His name was Bob Oshak. It still is Bob Oshak, I believe. Every time we would book him for a show, after the show, he would send us a thank you email. This is before social media. So he would email us, hey, thanks a lot for the spot. And he wasn't doing that to kiss ass. That's how people try to spin it. Like, oh, he's kissing ass. He's dick riding. No, he was being a professional. He was showing his gratitude and appreciation. And I tell you what, if it came down to Bob Oshak or somebody else, it's always Bob Oshak that I'm booking. It's always that guy who's classy and thoughtful and just nice and easy to deal with and grateful. There's nothing like putting all this effort into something and people just go, eh. It's like seeing somebody litter. It's like handing somebody a free Big Mac. Here you go, man. And you see him take the Big Mac and just throw the carton on the ground. It's like, well, why would I ever give this person a Big Mac again? I don't know why I chose Big Mac. I could have chosen numerous other things. I think it's the NyQuil that's talking. I had to edit this because Willie was going crazy. I'll find out hopefully tomorrow some kind of update on my credit score. If anybody here is good dealing with getting stuff removed from your credit, that would be great. Because when I was talking with a lady at the bank, I'm like, I need to explain myself and why this is an issue, not just that it's an issue. Why all of this happened after I signed the forbearance, but I don't know. So I'm going to call somebody tomorrow. But that's it. Yeah, I tried to keep this one short. I'm going to watch the rest of the NFC Championship, and I'll see you tomorrow.